Hi, welcome to episode 4 of our podcast, chit-chatting about all things travel insurance. I'm Maisie, head of commercial. I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Simon, founder of Transfer Travel.
Ooh, awesome. So kicking off, I suppose, current state, shall we say, of the insurance market. I think we found it's a little bit of a weird one. I mean, I don't know, you obviously, like, back in 2016, like, you've seen it before.
Yeah.
Which must be weird because I suppose, is it slightly different? Is it...
Yeah, I think it's changed in terms of, I think there's still a lot of people who don't travel with insurance. I think there's still a big 42%, is it? Something don't have travel insurance.
That's crazy.
Which is mad in that respect, isn't it? So it's, it's the first thing you do, isn't it? And when you're trying to book a holiday, I think you're literally bombarded with it. Buy travel insurance, protect yourself, everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like families especially, but I don't know. I think you do get a lot of it on your credit cards, like Monzo. I've got a Monzo account and that's covered on that. I used to have a Revolut account that had travel insurance for like the premium stuff. I know different banks do offer it, but whether people are presuming they're just covered generally or they're just like, oh, I'm just going for a weekend. I don't know. Think they're not bothered. And so I think travel insurance, there's the European travel card you need to get as well, separate to your travel insurance as well, isn't there? So which a lot of people don't think they've got to get that. So it's just education, isn't it? I think, and people, the last thing they're worried about is getting ill on holiday.
Yeah. Well, that's like, it's quite depressing really, isn't it? Because that's the last thing that you really want to think about. You just plan this like great holiday and then you think it's just another checkbox that needs to be ticked before you go away. But a lot of people, I think it's about 14% of people just forget to book it, which is crazy. But I know, was it Martin Lewis? He says like you should book ASAP. So like as soon as you buy it, you need to get it booked. Otherwise it will just get pushed under the radar, which is crazy. But then I suppose most people, so 47% of people don't get the right coverage. So especially I suppose with like pre-existing medical conditions and things like that, like
big thing.
That's a big one.
I think it's just education though, isn't it? Still education, because my friend, he had travel insurance, but because he had a pre-existing cover, he was ill while he was away.
Oh, no way.
And then they wouldn't cover him for that reason, so now he has to book his travel insurance separate, go for whatever it may be, sort of thing. But but that's insurance though, isn't it? There's always a clause.
Yeah, there is. I think it's quite rigid, like inflexible.
Yeah.
It's not great. And I think obviously now like consumers want value, like they want that. They want easy processes, but insurers aren't exactly making that process easy for them, which is crazy because they need them. I think insurance is quite volatile, like itself. Yeah, they definitely need.
And it's going up. I think the prices of insurance, everything, isn't it? Car, travel, any insurance has gone up.
Definitely.
For claims, for whatever reason. So I think it's, again, something else. It's like, do I need it? Yeah. And am I ever going to be in that position where I will need it?
Yeah.
Like when you book a flight, holiday, or travel, you always go for the cheaper option, don't you? So
you do.
Which obviously is where our site comes in, but it's always down to that. Well, I don't need insurance. I don't need to. I'm not going to not go on my holiday, or I can't see any problems.
It's easy to brush it off.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
Yeah. But then I suppose with that, the people need protections, and whether they overlook it or not, like you need that coverage.
Yeah.
But I think this gives loads of opportunity. Like there's gaps for like innovation and stuff like that. So like I think it's like 70% of insurers want any form of like AI or Gen AI or blockchain. They want things that will help this process, whether it's improving customer experiences, making it smoother, or adding that value. The education, I think that's where it kind of is coming from, and that's where it's going to, which is
but they can pass on to the customer then, can't they? If they can create these better, more evolved solutions, it'll reduce the cost. You'd like to think the insurance payouts would be less because they've been more diligent in the beginning. People have bought the right solution. They've gone through the whole thing, so they'll be able to pass that cost back on to the consumer, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Natural effect.
I suppose then, obviously, we've got a bit of a service solution, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I think obviously what we do, obviously everybody come from it. There's obviously the two elements to it, isn't it? There's the peer-to-peer side who come to our site who are selling travel because they can no longer go on it. As I said before, nobody ever wants to cancel the travel in terms of there's always a reason why you can't go, but nobody ever wants to cancel the travel that they can't go on, which then comes back to the whole point of they're not going to take insurance out of cancellation cover or cancellation protection when they're making that checkout because they want the cheaper option. They want it's why pay extra for something that you're not going to go on. So then it comes down to, if you've not got travel insurance, then you're stuck with travel you can no longer use, hence why people come to us and they can sell the travel to somebody else and at least recoup some of the money back from somebody, from that side of it. I guess though, then the big side for us, or the big sector that we're working in, and obviously we want to evolve with it and get more from it, is the insurer, the underwriters themselves.
Yeah.
So obviously they've got two elements to it. Well, one, somebody will phone up, I can't go on my travel, my pet's died, I've split with my girlfriend, whatever reason that may be, which ultimately a lot of those reasons aren't covered within travel insurance. It's not a valid reason. It's not, literally, I think, I don't want to say your leg has to be hanging off, but you've got to have a doctor's, you've got to have some sort of real reason, health wise, or I don't know whether like job losses cover it, that type of stuff. And if you've not got that reason that the underwriters will accept, then you're not covered. So even if you have travel insurance, we get a lot of people to the site that have travel insurance, but because the reason they have to cancel isn't valid, they're still stuck with travel. They can't use, they're not covered, they're not going to get the money back. So again, that's a way for us, and that's a way for us to work with insurance companies by saying, look, instead of you saying no to your customer, you can say, no, sorry, we can't help you, but you still may be able to recoup some money back on a site like Transfer Travel, protect you, blah, blah, blah. There's options there, isn't there?
Yeah.
I guess the other major side of that for the underwriters themselves is insurance inherently is, if you've got a car, you've insured your car, you crash it, the insurance company pay out, and then the insurance company can salvage part of that vehicle back. They can sell the wheels, they can sell the engine, they can sell the whole car to a salvage company. So they can at least reduce some of the P&L and the money that they've paid out on that ledger they've got to recoup a percentage of that payout back.
Yeah.
Where with the travel insurance sector, they can't recoup any of that money back. A travel insurer, if they will pay out and they accept that claim, they'll ask the individual for a cancellation letter. So as soon as that individual's got them a cancellation letter, that letter then needs to go to the insurance company, but the holidaying company's already won because they can resell that again. They've had the money, they don't need to refund the client, and they can go and resell that package again.
Yeah.
The insurance company's paid out and have got millions of pounds sat on their P&L, and they can't sell that either. So with us, the solution we've created and the opportunity we've got for insurance and how we're working with them now is, yes, they need to change that policy to allow people to give them some sort of power of attorney to obviously hand that over, which is, there's a multitude of processes they can do to get to that point.
Yeah.
But then that allows them then to give us that inventory legally to be able to sell that travel on somebody else via the name change fee, via the process and everything else, for at least us then to recoup a percentage of that back. So then if we're talking, I don't know, a travel insurance company's paid £50 million out on travel insurance claims in that year, if we can then recoup 20% of that back for them, 30%, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's not thousands, it's still millions. And again, that's the insure tech, that's the evolution, that's the it's not AI, it's not like that, but it's a solution that is there legally. We all know, you and I both know very well, name changes are there for a reason. 75-80% of travel is transferable via name change fee legally.
Yep.
Package holidays, atoll, if you've got a package holiday, legally you can change the name of that reservation.
Yeah.
You're entitled to change the name of that reservation. Airlines give you that name change fee to change the name on a reservation. Yeah. Hotels, there's never really much of a barrier to entry with the hotels. They want bums on seats. Same with an airline. If an airline's got 20 empty seats going out, well, they've not sold you an overly expensive price of Pringles and drinks and everything else. So they want bums on seats because they make, they call it RevPAR. So they want that extra revenue on a plane, in a hotel, to buy drinks, to buy restaurant food, whatever it may be. So there's definitely ways of everybody recouping money back, but ultimately the insurance company can save or recoup, percentages back on that millions of pounds by just changing, I'm not saying simple processes, it's a big thing to implement. It's historical that they've always asked for a cancellation policy so they can move forward. It's the tweak of that process, it's not hard, it's not rocket science, it's quite a simple thing to do. It's more just the red tape and the actual making that decision internally as a business, from a commercial decision, from a P&L decision, from a revenue comeback, how they can do that. But it's for us it's easy, for us it's simple. The translation of that into then a big PLC or a big underwriter, 100% is a big game changer in terms of internal processes, the board, directors and everything else. But I think when they start looking at it now more than ever in terms of, I paid £50 million in travel claims, how can I get any of that back where I've not been able to do it for the last 10 years more? That's what we're building there, the solutions we're building. That's why we can be dynamic to fit in within the process.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's it's millions, I guess.
Yeah, masses of opportunity, I think. And I think the tech stack stuff like the AI and Gen AI is great, but then obviously there's not really much of a possibility to kind of recoup anything from that. Whereas obviously
I mean, that'll help, though, I guess, creating better infrastructure, creating processes, AI processes that can do the name change automatically down the line, integrating into their APIs and their processes and stuff. I think it's tick boxes more than legal. There's no legal issue. The legal issue is how you get the name change over, how you get that power of attorney or that agreement from the client or the consumer to the insurer to then come to someone like us where we can just seamlessly process it without having to go back going back to every single person. Individual gets the money, insurance company pass it to us, we then sell it, recoup it, give them a proportion of that back. And it's just it's the same as everybody else.
And I suppose even like the retention for customers then should increase massively anyway.
Definitely. I think it's an education from both sides, isn't it? Unfortunately, the consumer, if they're covered and that payment is covered by them, it doesn't really matter, does it? I guess it's not, it's not sort of, the consumer will get the money either way. It's then stuck with the insurer, isn't it? That's then their problem. It's asking the consumer to do a little thing extra, an extra document to be signed, something validation. It's not the end of the world, is it?
No.
But it always comes back to big corporate PLCs. We're dynamic. We can be quite flexible. We can create APIs and plugins and tech stacks that talk to each other. I think it's more that historical big companies that have got to sort of look to how they can change that, which isn't going to happen overnight. But I think it's just the education again of it's there. Why can't you recoup money back on it?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's more of a, they've got to keep up with the times as such anyway. At some point, the most other sectors are pushed into like innovation. How can we develop? How can we streamline processes? So I think, although it is fairly, I wouldn't say antiquated, but it is slightly, we need to have ways to push forward. And I
think it's always been like that. I mean, we set up 2016. Up to COVID, we spoke to big insurance companies. We were having these conversations. We were on panels. We were on discussion boards. We were on, people were coming to us like newspapers and Martin Lewis, those types of people, money saving experts coming to us to say, what's your position on this based on, the current industry, etc. But I think now post-COVID, obviously travel bookings, people's policies got really sort of loose over the COVID, where they're giving out vouchers, they were just refunding people, everything else. Now it's now getting back to where it used to be. But I think now more than ever, everybody's struggling post-COVID, or not struggling, sorry, that's probably like the wrong word, but everybody's looking now how to save money. Everyone's had a bad few years, revenue-wise, business-wise. So I think now looking to make changes within specific processes within the business is paramount, because they need and you and I are seeing that. You and I are having conversations with insurance companies quite easily, and they're open to the discussion. They're not, nobody's sort of turned around and sort of gone, well, we've not done that before. It's very much actually, this could really work. I think it's just finding that solution, and it is going to be a long drawn out process. It is not. It's a 6-month, 12-month plan. But, it's definitely changed pre-COVID, and people are being a lot more open to discussion, I think, now, because everyone's lost a ton of money over the last few years, haven't they? So they've got to recoup it back somewhere. So making those slight changes, which is, as you know, it's a legal requirement, isn't it? We're not. There's nothing. There's no problem. And if they can recoup more money back, surely passing them savings back to the consumer is only more beneficial. With the increase in costs in insurance, I guess passing that back to the individual means the policies don't need to be as high, because the insurance company know, well, actually, if we do have to pay out on this, there's a good chance we'll get 30-40% of it back.
It's a massive value.
It's a good opportunity, but it's just that education, like anything in our industry, and especially the business we do. It's education, isn't it? It is literally educating the consumer, the insurance company, everybody else.
Definitely. Thanks for joining me.
No, it's been good. It's good to talk about it.
Definitely. Well, thanks for watching our podcast. Bye.